this is Kim Cerrato. Hey, we've got a sneak peek coming up for you from SODI Activate program that we have. Remember, we're here to teach you real estate one deal at a time so that you can get to financial freedom. So we hope you enjoy this sneak peek to our Activate program. So a business entity, do you actually need it now? So I think the first simple way to answer this is, what type of investing are you going to be doing right now? For me, I think that it's yes, you should have a business entity if you're planning to go ahead and step into doing rental properties and or flips, or you want to get set up with a hard money lender, and there's some other reasons that you might want to go ahead and get set up, get this business entity set up. And that might be because you want to establish some credibility. So you're going to be doing a lot of networking. You're going to be talking to sellers. You're going to be talking to potential cash buyers. You're going to be trying to find and talk to and set up private lenders and some hard money lenders, ideally. And so if you have a business entity, it lends itself to showing that you're a credible individual, right? It doesn't mean that you have to have it, as long as you have some other things in place, like a website, business cards, that kind of thing. But having that business entity will really help, I think, with a lot of networking and things that you're going to do. The other reason you might want to have one, besides the type of investing that you're going to do, is that because you want legal protection from a personal perspective. You don't want to, you want to be shielded, and you don't want people to be able to sue you personally. Ideally, they're going to, if you do all this right, they're going to, be able to sue potentially, if they need to or want to, the entity, business entity, but that should not flow through to you. So if you do this right. Again, I just want to reiterate, I am not a CPA, I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving you legal or financial advice. You really should talk to a CPA and an attorney and get some counsel from them as you think about this if you are going to go ahead and set up a business entity. So the other thing would be, if you want to establish some credit, if you want to go ahead and maybe get some supply house credit cards, just some basic credit cards. If you want to get a line of credit established for your business, it would be better to do that in the business name as opposed to doing it in your personal name, although you can do that. I mean, you can get all that stuff set up in your personal name, but if you really want to run this like a business and you're going to be in this for the long haul, it might be good to just go ahead and get it set up now and get it out of the way. Okay? So here is what I think, if you are doing a few things that you may not need to have a business entity right now. So that would be, maybe you're going to start out wholesaling. You can get started, again, you have some credibility that you have to establish, but you can get started. You can get started with anything without a business entity. But so if you're going to be wholesaling and maybe private lending, no, you don't necessarily have to get started. You could get the engine going and then step into it. And if you're only going to be doing a few deals a year, or maybe you only want to pick up 5 properties or so, and that's it, or 5 or 10. The other thing would be, maybe you're going to do conventional financing, and you want to do that in your own name because you can, and you have that income to support that. So that might be a reason why you don't need a business entity right now. Even if you have a business entity, you can still do that. You can still buy in your own name, but if you are going to try to do some personal loans with conventional financing, then you'll have to title those properties in your personal name, unless you're going to do some sort of commercial type loan with a conventional institution. So that's it. So I went through some why you might want to do it, why you might not want to do it, or why you might not have to do it right now. So hopefully that helps in making the decision. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was, if you want to get set up with a hard money lender right now, setting up a business entity is going to make that a lot easier. There are some hard money lenders that will do it in a personal name, but they're going to be, far fewer that do it that way, and it's also going to be dependent upon the state that you're in. I am in Florida, and most of the research I've done and most of the hard money lenders I've talked to in Florida, they require, if you're buying a property in Florida, they require a business entity. So again, it might be state dependent. So you got to look at your state when you start to have the conversation with hard money lenders and you're interviewing them. This is obviously one of the questions you want to ask them, and we'll be going into that in a lot more detail in another video. So now let me tell you a little bit about how we're set up. So from an investment perspective, we actually decided to use limited liability corporations, LLCs. And those LLCs are we have a few. So we have one that is me and my primary partner, and that LLC is actually set up to where any income or loss passes through to us personally. Okay, 50-50 setup. And we have one that we use for long-term holds, and then we have a separate one that we use for short-term. So we keep all of our short-term projects under one LLC, and then anything that's long-term under another. And we do that so that we don't trigger basically what's called dealer status. So, we don't want to mix the bag, so to speak, and not be able to take advantage of, capital gains taxation, where that might actually be less of a tax hit or versus ordinary income. So, that we're keeping them separate. We were instructed to do that at some point in our learning process, and we've just kind of stuck with that. We also have some LLCs with others that we do business with. So if we're going to do a joint venture, we typically will do that in a form of an LLC. And again, things pass through from a personal perspective, and they flow back to our personal account, either our personal selves or to another LLC. So that's how we're set up right now from an investing perspective. And again, I talk to my CPA, I talk to an attorney. I've looked at it from a financial perspective as well as from a legal perspective, and we felt like that this was the best way for us to do things based on how we're doing business. So again, I recommend highly that you talk to a CPA and attorney, maybe talk to others and get their opinion as well on how they've done things and why, and that'll help you through this process. Hey, this is Kim and Christy, Real Estate Investors. We really hope you enjoyed this video.
See you next time.